Hello, it's time for another weekly update of what I've been creating. My intention with sharing these art vlogs each week is, first of all, to keep myself accountable to the creative projects that I'm really excited about and wanting to move forward. Second of all, is hopefully to cheer you on and inspire you to keep going with your own creative projects as well. This week, I spent actually a lot of my creative time working on some ideas I've been having on how to monetize my art a little bit more. Now, there's a big part of me that has resisted monetizing my art because putting the pressure on your art to create money can really ruin the joy of the art. It can also make it so you're not as true to yourself with what you're trying to create. And all of those are very good reasons to not monetize. But I am really working so that over the next few years, I could hopefully shift from full-time work to part-time work with my job, or maybe even be able to shift out entirely to be able to do art and writing full-time. So that's the hope, and that's what I'm working on, but I feel like I need to be laying the foundation as I go, or else it's never going to be a reality. It's kind of one of those, how will I know if it will work or not? Well, I know for sure it won't work if I don't try, so I've been trying a little bit more this week. It also feels like a healthy habit to just keep putting myself out there more and more, and not to get too precious over any of the things that I'm creating, so it feels like a really healthy balancing act to be creating things that I'm really passionate about and then putting them out there, rather than how I can be, which can be to kind of hoard my art or keep it all really, really close to me and not let anybody see it or let alone buy it or anything. And so I'm working on that as well. For example, I've had a really big pile of finished art pieces that I really like, actually, that I've been just keeping in this big portfolio inside my closet for like the past 6 or more months at least. So it's just time to get some of those things out of the closet and out into the world. I also have some concerns, as I have been working a lot on my zine, that by not showing a lot of my art and not putting a lot of my art out there and then just launching this zine that I'm so excited about and have a lot of passion for, I'm kind of worried that I will launch it to crickets, or that people won't be expecting to see my art or even maybe want to purchase the zine in that way. And so it feels like I just need to put myself out there more and more and more, which I feel like I already am by doing my YouTube videos every week, but it feels like it's not quite enough. And so I'm working on it. I do feel like it is important, and I can feel how healthy it is for me, but there's a lot of vulnerability, a lot of stories showing up in my head about why I shouldn't and why nobody wants this. But I'm going to keep showing up for myself because it feels like it's the right thing to do. And it feels important to honor my own work. It's like, if I don't really care about my own art once it's done and I just throw it in a closet, how could I ever expect anybody else to care about it? So I'm trying to respect it more as well. Thinking about my zine also made me realize that there is actually a ton of art in there that could be really cool to share. So it doesn't have to only be something that they can only see that art through the zine. And so I've been playing around with the idea of instead putting out collections where I'll have like my zine, The World is Full of Stories. I'll have collections of art that are all from that zine, and they all tie back into the zine as well. So I got to work on that. I'm going to show you a little bit of what I worked on this week. If you saw my update last week, you saw that I took a lot of those pieces that had been in my closet to a professional art photographer to have them photographed. And I thought I was going to get prints back earlier this week, and they've ended up being delayed, and they're saying I'll get them early next week. So it was a little bit of a letdown, but I'm still really excited to get them. And it gave me the opportunity to focus on some other things instead, which was probably good. I wanted to take one of the pieces that I've been really excited about in the zine, which is this underwater girl. And I kept envisioning it on totes or up on big canvases and prints. And so I took some time this week and I actually created products around those, and I put them up in my Etsy store. And it feels really good to be resurrecting my my Etsy store. I haven't really paid much attention to it over the past year, and even when I started it a year or so ago, I just kind of threw a few things on there, and so this feels really good to be a little bit more intentional, and I'm really proud of how these turned out. So I've got this available as prints in all of these different sizes. I've also got it available in canvases, since I have had people request that with my art before as well. And then I was probably most excited about putting this on a tote bag, and it didn't turn out exactly how I had envisioned, because I would love to be able to do a print that was over the entire tote bag so that I could have the whole bottom almost have this ombre effect with those watercolor layers, and then have the sketch be printed directly onto the tote. So I wasn't able to get it to do exactly that, but I still think it's a really pretty tote bag, and I'm excited about it still. I'm figuring that I will probably have to somehow screen print it myself and then paint it on or something, but I'm kind of stumped on how to get that original vision of the tote to work. So if you have any ideas about what I could do, definitely let me know in the comments, because it seems so fun. It seems like there's got to be a way, but I just haven't been able to figure it out yet. I've also been wanting to play a little bit more with digital art. I am playing with it with building the zine a little bit, but I had this idea before bed. I don't know if you've ever seen the old Bewitched TV show, but it was one of my favorites growing up, and it was even old when I was growing up, but it was really sweet. Although in hindsight, I do feel like there are some problematic themes with that show that it didn't age well, but it was really fun when I was a kid, and so I have all these happy memories. And I was just thinking about the Wicked movie coming out, because I had just seen the second Wicked movie trailer, and I had this vision of Elphaba from Wicked looking like the cartoon version of the Bewitched witch that showed up in the credits and in the intro to the show. I've seen it on shirts as well. And so I just kept envisioning seeing Elphaba and having the word wicked underneath it instead of bewitched, but in a similar type of writing. And so I just went to bed one night with that idea, and I woke up the next morning and I just had to take action on it. So I pulled out my iPad and I got to work, and I drew out Elphaba, or a version of Elphaba, and then drew out the lettering. And as I was writing Wicked, I showed it to my husband, and immediately he was like, "Oh, be wicked." Like bewitched. And I was just dying. Sometimes we don't see these things because we're too close to it, right? And so I was just so excited. This is a genius idea. So then I played more with the lettering and got it to look just how I wanted it. And I just had so much fun making this. This was one of those things where I'm like, I want this. I want to wear this. I want this in my world. And so maybe other people will too. So I drew it up and I pulled it into Etsy and put it on some shirts. And, you know, I'm ordering mine, and maybe some other people will want theirs too. I think it's super cute. So that was a joy project this week for sure. I also did something really fun this week in that I finished putting the embroidery cover on my latest inspo book. So I want to show you, take you behind the scenes to see how I did that. But first, just as a memory jogger, this is what I do with a lot of my books. I use just a standard sketchbook, and then I'll embroider around the covers. So I did this with my tarot book, which you can see the video about. I'll put that in the link below. And then I also did this with my first inspiration book. And I also have a video showing the inside of this book that I'll put in the link below. But this is the latest embroidering I've been doing, where I was doing these irises and the key, and then the moth and the moons on the back. And so I want to show you how I actually did this, because it's a pretty technical project, but some of you have been asking, and it is kind of interesting. So let's go behind the scenes and I'll show you how I did it. All right, I've got everything gathered that we need to be able to put this cover on the book. And I'll just show you a little bit that when we're done, then we'll have this covering. So there's the front, the spine, and the back. So to get everything to line up properly, here where my outlines are, I've got to put the cover here and then use my book edge. It doesn't fit perfectly, but this is just to square off your edges, and it looks like my book has slipped a bit. So that will get cut off, and then now I'm doing this side. This will get cut off too. Okay, looking good. And then now this side. Okay, so that will get it looking good. I might need to also just trim off some of the width on these sides too. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, now I'm just going to test this to see how much cloth is going to be folded over. Yeah, I think that is too much on the top and bottom, so I'm going to just trim that down, and I'm just going to eyeball it. I've found I don't have to be super particular with this, at least for the way that I like them done. They do not have to be perfect. This will also just give me a nice clean edge to work with on this side, since it's frayed a bit. Perfect. Okay, now that this is ready, we need to prepare the book to be able to work. So we basically have to detach all of the paper, the inside of the book, from the book cover so that we can cover the cover, and then we'll reattach it. This is without a doubt the scariest part. So I just get a palette knife and stick it underneath where the spine is. It can be kind of tough, but you want to get off as much of the paper as you can, because that helps you reattach it more securely than you would if you didn't get off a lot of this paper. Try to get under here and get some more of this edge out. Okay, so this part came out, but that's okay. I'll replace that. Okay, and then on this side, I designed this cover and I really love it, so I'm very sad to let this go. Just gonna have to redo it though. Okay, so pretty rough and scary, but it works. There might be better ways to do this, but these are the ways that I've found. So this is the page that we're going to glue back into the book once we have the cover attached. And then we have the same on this side, and that will help strengthen the binding once we go on it. And then we'll put in a new piece right here so that it still opens really well. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside. We won't need it again for a while until we've got the cover fully attached, and we'll work on that now. So the biggest thing on the cover is to just get it all lined up really well, and we need to make some cuts for the elastic band so that it can come through. So I'm just gonna line it up on this side a little bit. Okay, so this feels like our elastic spots. Let me just double check that. Trying to get my outlines as lined up to the actual book as possible, so that then when we go ahead and mark the elastic band, it will be in the right spots. This band got pushed up, so there we go. Okay, this part takes some razor blading, so I'm just gonna make this cut here. Okay, we've got our hole for the band to go in the top. Now we need our hole in the band to the bottom. And it's okay if this hole isn't perfect because it's all gonna get glued down. Okay, that's looking great. And now I've gotta take this apart. So, let's see if I can get some of this up right here. We basically just have to pull out, this elastic so that it can go through the whole of the cloth and then back into itself to attach it. So there we go. Okay, now I'm just going to get everything lined up really good, and then I'm going to make some outlines on the back. That looks good on that side. Let's see if we're lined up on this side. No. Okay, I think that's as close as it's going to get. And once the fabric's wet with the glue, we can pull it more, which will help. Okay, and then I just have some bookbinding glue, and then I just pour this in. You need quite a bit. And then I've got water handy, get it even closer. The other thing before I start gluing is I want to lay down some craft paper. Craft paper is invaluable in this process. Okay, now I've got to realign everything again. Okay, that is looking perfect on this side. So let's use that. Just gonna make a few marks. See if we're lined up on this side. Yep, looking good. Okay, so there's our center. Okay, now it's time to start gluing. So I just get a little bit of the water and drop it in just to thin out the book glue a little bit, and then mix it around. This whole process can be a little bit nerve-wracking because I spent a lot of time on it. And then you just paint on the glue, and I'm only painting on the cover part, not the edge, because I want to work on the edges after I've got this part glued. So since this is on linen, it kind of seeps through, which can be fun to work with too, because then it can get stuck. So you have to move pretty quick. I'm doing a pretty sloppy job because it's just important to just get the glue down as quickly as possible. This part is already kind of starting to fade. Okay, so as it's wet, it can kind of get these bumps into it too. Make sure that top is strong. Okay. And I'm just gonna peel it back. Make sure we're lined up good. Yep, that's all looking really good. I'm just gonna fold this so I don't have that wet spot right there. And we're gonna keep going. So now we'll get this other side. And I truthfully am gonna need some more glue. I'm gonna go back once this is on all the way too, and we'll just smooth out any wrinkles before we wrap the edges. Oops, there was a long strand of embroidery floss that didn't get cut. Too late now. Getting low on glue, but hopefully I can make it. Double checking. Now that this is really flat, then we just press down. And then this part is a little crazy. Just gotta press that down and then lift this up a little bit and push our elastic through. And then attach it. It's looking good. Okay, so now I'm just gonna smash that down again so that we're not on wet, and we're just gonna work it from the front to try to work out any bumps. Around the bumpy embroidery especially, it shows a lot of bumps, so I'm just pressing those down. And luckily the glue stays kind of wet for a bit, and so it gives you some time to work through it, but you still kind of have to move fast. Okay, and then sometimes just pushing it back into its book shape will get rid of some of those wrinkles, so just trying that. And then before this is too dry, we're going to push the elastic back through. This is always a bit tricky. Going to make sure my cardboard hole is nice and open too. And then I typically have to kind of shove it through the hole with the razor blade to get it to go through okay. Oh, and I must have pulled a string in the cloth. Shoot. That's okay. It's these little things that give a character, right? Okay, so just making sure it's about the same as it was. I think so. Okay, that's looking really good. And then I'll just pull this a little bit so it's straight with the book. This is definitely not an exact science in that you can do it perfectly. I mean, probably some people can do it perfectly. I maybe just don't have the patience or am willing to put in the time to do it perfectly. I'm in the good enough spot where it just doing it how I do it delights me, and I like how it turns out. Double checking our bumps, making sure everything is really smooth. Oh, it's looking so good. Okay, to get this bookmark band to not be quite so bumpy and up, I'm going to basically cut out the cardboard a little bit. I'm not going all the way through. Making a line down and then seeing if I can pull up some of the cardboard so that then I can tuck the bookmark underneath the cardboard. Let's see. Still feeling very tightly attached. There we go. So I've just got this little section of cardboard that pops up, little tab, and then use some of my glue and then just push that into the little tab, and then more glue. Just push that tab on top of it. When this is done right, there we go. I just had to pull that out a bit. When it's done right, then it just makes it smoother for where your tab goes in. So it kind of hides the width of the ribbon within the thickness of the book. Now it's time to glue down our edges. So we need more glue. We're probably going to need more paper. Okay, I think we got everything handy. Get a little bit more water in here. Just spreads farther when it has some water in it. It's not quite as hard to get it to cover everywhere. It comes very thick. Okay, now we just go in and paint the edges with the glue. And then I just start in the middle and pull it over. Okay, we've got the top glued on. Now let's do the bottom. And see how cutting and squaring those angles made it so we get this nice fold on these ends. Okay, almost done. One more side is it. Okay, and then we just double check it. It's looking good. Okay, now we can sit and let this dry until we're ready to attach it back to the book. Okay, so now we're preparing this part of the book. We basically just need to glue an insert here so that we can attach that insert to the book, because if we just attach this, that was that thing I ripped off. If we had just attached it like this, it won't attach very good, for one, because it's like concaved in, but then also it will make it so the book won't open and have as much flexibility. So to do that, we just need to roughly measure. I'm just making a nice flat edge, and then you don't have it be exactly the height of the book, so just a little bit shorter. And now we just need it to match the width of the book. So we line it up there to about here. And then we just fold this little, just make this little pocket fold. When I first started making books, I didn't believe this was crucial and was even kind of bugged by needing to do it. I have since learned that all these things are crucial. Okay, and then to get the glue down. So this got to be a little bit careful because you only want the glue out on this edge. It can go a little bit on the top here, it just can't go under it. We're going to now fold that over, and then yay! And then what it does is it makes this nice little tube. So then we glue this into here, which we will do now. Okay, let me just glue that into the spine. And then we want to make sure that this little pocket stays open. So I'm just going to open it up. Okay, so now we've got that nice hole going all the way through, and this is what will attach to the spine of the book. So we'll just give everything a minute to dry before we do the next part. Okay, now we're ready to attach the embroidered cover back to the book. So first is just the spine, and I'm going to work hard to not get any glue underneath that because this pocket needs to be able to stay open. That is cutting it a little close, Glenn. Okay, good enough. I just want it centered. This is the most important part to get right. So I'm not going to rush it. So I'm just going to apply pressure here. Get that spine nice and tight. Okay, we're looking good. Get these pushed a little bit that way. Okay, I think that's as good as it's going to get. So now before we lose that, let's start gluing on the insides. So I'm just going to slip some parchment paper in right here so that it doesn't get on the other page in the book. Okay, I'm going to give this another coat because I want to make sure it's nice and secure. All right, and now we start to glue back this crazy ripped up page. Okay, this is looking good. Just gonna make sure we're nice and tight, secure. And we're gonna cover up this pretty page, sadly. That looks like we're glued on. So slip that back in there so that while it rests and dries, it won't stick to the other pages. Like that is just perfectly the right size. So now we just do the same thing to the other side. Okay. And until all of this is dry, the book is very fragile. And so we have to keep working with it. Oh shoot. Let me put that there to protect it. And now sit and kind of let this dry. So while this is drying, I'm going to just look for the right paper out of this butterfly Pepin book to use as the insert that will cover this up and make it so you don't see the jagged edges anymore. So I had been thinking of this gold one that I've used before, but as I'm seeing it right now, I'm not as excited about it. I have used it on a couple other books, or at least I have used it on one other book, and so I'd like to do a little bit something different. I'm also feeling like there's such dark kinds of stuff in this book, especially in the beginning, and the cover turned out really light and cheerful, and so I'm wondering if I can find something more moody that fits the dark. This might work. I like the dark butterflies there. It doesn't feel like it's balancing it very good. Maybe. Yep, I think this is the one. Okay, so let's just kind of get this to measure. I pulled this out of this book. And yep, that's going to be the perfect shape. Okay, I've measured everything and I'm ready to glue the end papers into the book. And I actually think this works really well together, so that's exciting. Okay, here we go. Let's do the front first. Okay, and now we just sit and let it all dry. So now my book is totally dry and it's done. You can see the insert pages and it looks so good. I'm so excited. In fact, I think it's finally ready to try the elastic band around it. Yep, it's looking good. So fun to have another one of these done. I love these books when the covers are on, and the embroidering is so fun to embroider as well. This is truly a joy creative project lately. I love doing these, so I'm already thinking and dreaming up what I'm going to do for my next one, and I'll keep you updated as I get working on that. So those are some of the creative projects that I've been up to this week. What creative projects have you been working on though? I want to know in the comments, and if you've got links to anything, please send me links so that I can see what you've been working on. I really do read and respond to every comment, so I would absolutely love to see what you're working on. And I'm just cheering you on and bringing even more creativity into your week this next week. And I can't wait to talk to you again next week.